Morning, Neil.
Hey, how's it going, Quinton?
Yeah, very well. Thank you. And yourself?
I am doing pretty good, even though I'm super busy at the moment.
Okay.
I am literally being able to keep up with the demand, and I honestly think I owe it to being smart about my business. It hasn't been easy to learn the smart ways, but working smarter, not harder, has definitely served me, and it's one of the reasons why I still am in the personal training business more than 10 years later after
Okay.
starting.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I wonder how many PTs out there can agree with you that it's that they sort of feel the same way because it sounds to me like there's some of them that are struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, struggling is one of the ways to put it. I think burnt out is more realistic, and it's unfortunate because yeah, especially with the whole Corona situation, it's thrown spanners in the works of our normal routine. I think a lot of people have got the chance to rest during like the hard lockdowns, and I think they're realizing how they were running on very low batteries.
Yeah.
And now that things are opening up again, I think incorporated some people have incorporated things like Zoom training into their routines, but it's just doing the same thing but a different means. It's nice to be at home a little bit more, but if you are literally burning through your emotional energy, helping people one on one for hours at a time, it takes its toll on you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it is true of so many industries. People are talking about burnout and people talk about the big resignation and stuff like that. So I guess, even for
Great
people who are,
resignation.
yeah, people who are in this self-employed mode of things are starting to feel the pressure.
Yeah, and I mean, it's at the end of the day, like it's not unjustified. A lot of people have got this mentality of just grind through it, and that's been pushed a lot on social media at one stage. But if something good has come of this whole situation, it's us realizing that rest is not a luxury, rest is a necessity, and we all need our time to rest, but we also, and very importantly, need time to spend with ourselves, with our loved ones, with other dependents that we have on us. And if you're just grinding the whole time, you might be physically there, but you're not actually there for the people that we need. And first of all, we should be showing up for ourselves. And if you don't have the emotional energy to do that, not
Yeah.
possible. It's not sustainable. So that's what we really wanted to talk about today. I heard a story from a friend of mine of a personal trainer that was popular, very popular, was in one of the trendy big red gyms in Sea Point, and they gave up on the fitness industry because their philosophy they maybe didn't do as much exploring as they could have, but they just said, look, this business is not sustainable, it's not scalable, so I need something that's going to work for me in the long term. Which is it's very sad, especially if you've put in a lot of time and effort into building your brand, building your image, getting that association with you and fitness so that people think of you. And now if someone contacts this person, they're just going to say, hey, like, I don't do it anymore, so go find someone else, which is, again, wasted time, energy, and brand building, which is a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
And maybe if this person had explored different ways of doing the business, and what myself and Quinton believe is that online personal training using an app is the best way to go online, then things could be maybe worked out differently for him, and you wouldn't have had to
Yeah.
completely change industries. Like that's literally not even changing your sales like to in a different direction. That's literally changing boats, and you
Yeah.
literally have to build a new boat from the ground up. And that's reinventing yourself like that is a lot. It is
Yeah.
just a lot. There's no other way to describe it.
Absolutely. Neil, I know your heart as well. This isn't necessarily a talk about following our strategy in the way that we believe that you should be doing. This is just genuinely looking the PT in the eye and say, if you want a sustainable business, then you got to go online. There's no other choice. Whether you do it in your own strategy, you go find somebody else's method, but just do it. It needs to be done.
Yeah, I think our intentions are 100% pure. I've spoken about this before, but again, I will say, been 10 years in the business, I wouldn't still be here if I didn't try online personal training. And luckily, I started about 6 years ago, moving in that direction, because I am very aware of how much time, and I do put in effort to make that time as much as I can. But if there's no time to give, then you can't make that time for yourself. You can't make that time for your loved ones. And I always look into the future. I'm always someone that's very introspective, and I will consider what is happening and what's coming in the next 5 years, 10 years. And if I didn't start online more than 6 years ago, I would have looked into the future and said, well, personal training is not going to be it, because when I have a child, or when I want to walk my dogs once a day at least, so they don't go crazy in a small yard or an apartment, I'm going to need to be able to do that and be able to pay their bills, so whether it's school fees, whether it's pet insurance, whether it's life insurance for your children, for yourself, and medical aid, and all of these things that come with modern day life, living in the societies that we've chosen. That's not going to be sustainable, to be making those payments and be showing up and being mentally okay, mentally health okay, physically okay. I mean,
no, I don't think, the people we are talking about that's quitting the industry. It's a pity. We're losing quality people, and those people and the beginning of it were very passionate about what they were doing. They had a very clear vision in their life of how they were going to help people change their lives and help to make the world a better place. So at some point, the sort of financial pressure and all of that stuff starts pushing out those big ideals that we're in life, and that's very sad. I could probably sort of call out the teachers as well that are probably, let me say it out here, underpaid in terms of the value that they have in society. And so back to the PTs, these are guys who really want to help people out there, yet they it's not sustainable for them and for their families.
Yeah, and I think you drawing the conversation back, because I kept spiraling off and talking about just myself and my situation. Again, we're not saying that this is the only way to do it, but an app allows you the chance to deliver your services without you physically having to give that hour or be there with the person. So if there's a different alternative to an app, and it's a scalable business that doesn't require your one-on-one attention, then we would advocate that as well. We're not saying ours is the only way. We are literally saying, this is my example. I've lived the grind of trying to do it the one-on-one way. I've tried it to do it many different ways, in person, cruise ships, yachts, in Dubai, in America, at different facilities, the big red gym, the big blue gym, being mobile, not paying the rent, and then going to places, group exercise. I've tried all of these methods already, and they weren't sustainable in terms of either I was giving too much of my time and then I wasn't able to actually, like, I was burning out, or I was doing it in like a group setting or whatever, and being able to maintain those numbers so that the amount of money that you need comes in, which is another factor. You might be doing personal training as a part-time income, and it's just bringing in trickles of money in the side there, which also at the end of the day, like, we need to be financially, we need to be financially given what we deserve for the amount of effort and the amount of time that we've spent developing yourself into the industry, which comes with expensive educational fees that you've paid yourself to become a fitness instructor, a personal trainer, an exercise specialist, a physiotherapist, a biokineticist, whatever it is. You've invested time in universities or colleges, and those fees need to be paid back to you in 10x that, because you don't just study something to pay back your school fees or your tuition fees. You pay those fees because they're going to pay it forward in a sustainable long-term business, and that income needs to continue to come to you. So we just advocating this is the way that I've done it, and Quentin's teaching you how you can find those clients, because finding clients in person and online are completely different. And so we're saying, yeah, this is a system that Quinton's tested on finding clients. Here's a system that I've tested on training the clients online. It's been sustainable for this last 6 years. It's the more I refine it and the more Quinton helps me, it's becoming more and more sustainable and more income. So let us teach you that, because we would love to help you.
Actually, Neil, I actually think that just a positive or the other side of the coin in terms of sustainability, we're not saying we want to get you to the point where you just kind of get by. Actually, we believe that online can take you way beyond that. It actually is, here's another buzzword, scalable. So it's sustainable, but it's also super scalable, that it can, you can make a huge amount of money if you do this right.
Yeah, I think this month has been a great example of that for me. With your help, Quinton, fine-tuning my offer, bringing new things into the offer, packaging my things differently. I sent out my invoices and I was like, that seems like a pretty good month for me. And I added everything up and I'm like, wow, I'm pretty much making in 1 month what, like a couple of years ago, I'm pretty much making, what a couple of months ago took me 3 months to make. So that's not a bad invoicing day, and I was really proud of myself for that.
Well done, man. Yeah, no, Neil,
thank you. You have the same abilities, guys. You literally have exactly, like, I'm not anyone special. I've put a lot of work into building myself up as a brand and being associated with exercise. You can go back on my social media posts. But I can also tell you about my experiences. I put myself out there. I put myself out of my comfort zone. These are all things that we need to do in our own ways, but we are all capable of doing it. But it also you need to make a decision on, is this something that I want to do? And if it is it going to be a full-time income or a part-time income? Because those are mostly your options. And whether you're doing it full-time or part-time, you should be online, because it's scalable and it's sustainable.
Okay. I think the message is loud and clear. Thank you very much, Neil, for sharing your personal experience as well. It's you guys, it's not just theory. It's not just things that we dream up on. It's stuff that actually we've carried out in practice. So we'd love to teach you guys as well. It's very satisfying to hear Neil having the successes, and we'd like to help more of you achieve that kind of success. So thank you, Neil.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you again, Quinton. There's no, it's hard to edify you to the point that you need to be edified, because you have big impact. You've got such good knowledge, and the methods that you use work, Quinton. They really do. So thank you again for that.
All right.
And if you'd like to do the same, guys, we have a course coming up in a couple of months. Or if you want to join and start getting on it right away, we have the online PT tribe, where you can be part of our membership, where you can learn at your own pace. If you want to go fast, you can go fast. If you want to go slow, you can go slow, but you'll have access to all of the tools and the information that you need in order to become an online personal trainer.
Absolutely. Very cool. Thank you, Neil. As usual, that was very helpful.
Awesome. And enjoy the rest of the day and enjoy the week, guys. We'll see you next week for our next micro lesson.
Cheers, everyone.